We see today that Isaac, the long awaited son that God promised Abraham, from which would ultimately come the Jewish nation and the Lord Jesus Christ, the Messiah, Isaac, the progenitor, if you will, of it all, is born in response to God's promise. Though a long awaited promise, a promise the Lord certainly did fulfill, for he always keeps his word and cannot lie. Genesis 21. The Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did to Sarah as he had promised. And Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the time of which God had spoken to him. Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him, whom Sarah bore to him, Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac when he was 8 days old, as God had commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. And Sarah said, God has made laughter for me. Everyone who hears will laugh over me. And he said, who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? Yet I have borne him a son in his old age. What we see is reiterated multiple times. Sarah, the old lady, around 90, has Isaac. She bears Isaac, gives birth to him. And again, Isaac's name we've looked at before means laughter. And we've seen in Abraham's life, he's gone through trials, he's gone through temptations, he's backslidden at different times, he's repented. He's had this journey, if you will, to this pinnacle moment with God, this mountaintop experience. But it's zigged and zagged up that mountain and gone up and down through different little valleys on the way up. It was not a straight line journey. It's the same in our lives. Now, we're probably not awaiting a child that's been promised us by God. We're not old in that sense, but God does direct his saints today. God does call us to obey him. And what he calls us to may not always be evident right away. It can tarry a while. It can take some time to get to where God is calling us to be. But it does not mean that we have been disobedient just because it takes a long time. But the wait and the journey is a refining process. Trials have a purpose. The epistles of Peter and the epistle of James in the New Testament speak of this very clearly. The trials we go through in this life have a purpose. Lord, I thank you for who you are. I thank you for always keeping your promises. You cannot lie.